Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I will be sharing an art haul with you. First up, there's some paper that I got a great deal on via something similar like eBay or Craigslist equivalent for America. It was this beautiful Artistico paper by Fabriano. This is the 300 GSM 100% cotton paper, cold pressed. It's 20 sheets and it's actually 35 by 51 centimeters. So it's big. And the texture was quite surprising because it seemed very similar to a hot press paper for me. There wasn't a lot of texture like I'm used to, say, as with the Arches cold press watercolor paper. Now the reason I got this quite cheap, which was like a third of the price it usually goes for, is because a gallery probably closed their doors and somebody bought this whole bunch and just sold it. So yay for me. Then there's also the same paper, only then it's the rough pressed paper by Fabriano Artistico. And you will get to see the exact texture in a second, because surprise, surprise, I also bought this second pad of the same rough pressed paper. This is only a little bit smaller than the other size, but it's exactly the same in texture and quality. So as you can see, it is really quite rough. I'm very curious how this will paint. Super excited to try it out. And then there is the other pad of paper by Fabriano Artistico, which is the smaller size of the cold pressed paper, which I've already shown you the texture in the beginning, but I figured you might want to take a second look as to compare the rough and the cold pressed again. So you think we have all the paper you need, there's no possible way you could need more paper. Well, you might be right, but somehow I figured these were in the batch too, so why not go ahead and get these as well. These are cold pressed but cellulose paper. It is acid free, it's 200 GSM, and it's 30 by 40 centimeters. This paper, I tried this in an art class once, and this brand is actually discontinued or bought up by another brand right now. So I was really happy to find this old batch of paper that doesn't make me feel like I need to create an absolute masterpiece instantaneously. And as you can see, the texture is right between the cold pressed and the rough pressed from Fabriano. So the brand name is Schut Aquarelle, which might be hard for some of y'all to say, and it's the Serene line. Now from the same seller also came this Watercolor Wheel, which I must say I haven't really been in the market for, because usually mixing colors goes pretty smoothly, but it was so cheap and he was going to send it to me anyway, so I figured, why not? Let's just include it and see what it brings me. So for people who haven't used the watercolor wheel, it includes some information. It has the outer rings with colors and inner ring with colors, and you can move the inner ring to make the colors match the ones that you want to mix, and you will see what kind of color you'll get right on the watercolor wheel. Now also there is some information about watercolors on the back of this watercolor wheel, and it also tells you a little bit about usual pigment properties. So all in all, a nifty little tool to have, and let's see how much I'll actually use this or not. So you've seen these beautiful little plastic pallets or bowls, I think you would say, in other videos of the Christmas card paintings. They're easily stackable and really nifty to keep your colors separate. And last but not least in this batch were a lot of paper clamps, different shapes, different sizes. He just had a bunch and he just wanted to get rid of them all in one sale. So I was like, sure, I'll have them, and they can be really handy to secure some paper down, like in a sketchbook. Watercolor sketchbooks sometimes can be helpful to just clamp them on down instead of having masking tape, because that doesn't work in a sketchbook. So lots of little clips and clamps. So a very good haul for a third of the price of what you usually went for, and I have enough paper to last me forever. So that is not all, because I also ordered some things via the internet, and that is this package that I received. Now, of course, there's an address under there, which I'm trying to be super secretive of, and I'll start opening it for you, which it was covered in good wrapping tape, so it took me quite a while, and let's find out what's inside. I already know, but I hope you guys live vicariously through me with this unboxing. Let's get this paper out of the way. It's packaged quite securely, none of it moved, so it seems like it got here in good order. Now we have this beautiful set of watercolors by QOR, which I will be unwrapping with you right here, so stay tuned for that. Let's first get into the rest of the box, and there we have 2 of these plastic pallets, which were standard house brand of this website that I ordered it on. I hadn't seen them anywhere before, but they seemed like they would be pretty handy, so pretty cheap. I got them just to see what it was like. And then this little natural sponge. Now, a lot of watercolor artists are super big fans of sponges to create texture with in their paintings. I didn't have a sponge besides the one that I use to clean my sink, so I saw this and I had some room over it left over in my order to meet the shipping costs, so I figured I'd throw it in there and figure it out as I went along. So the plastic pallets Both came wrapped in another wrapper of plastic, so lots of plastic, which is not good for the environment. So it would be nice if this company would edit that and do something about their packaging. So as you can see, this plastic palette has a soft top and a hard plastic bottom, and you can put your paints into the squares. There's 32 small compartments and 4 larger compartments, and you can use this rubber overlay to keep the dust out of your palette. I'm pretty sure it won't be waterproof because it's on there pretty loosely. So looking better at these palettes, the wells that they come with are so deep and the edges are so steep that I don't think I would be happy using my good brushes in them. And since I've been trying to return them to the shop, but the shipping costs are immense for sending them back and would actually outweigh the costs of the palettes. So I decided keeping them, but also purchasing other palettes that would better suit my needs and brushes. So I hope I'll find a good or better use for these palettes over time. Now on to the main event, the QOR watercolor set. This set includes 24 watercolors by QOR, and they're all in tubes of 5 milliliters. The package arrived totally scratch-free and in great condition, and I've been actually ogling these paints for quite a while, so I was super excited when this package arrived, and it caused me to film this way too late, but I just had to open them and film it at the same time. The tubes come in this tin, and they include this booklet with all the colors in the QOR range so that you know exactly what they're offering. Of course, not all are included in this set. Now, let's look at the colors that are in this set. This is the Cadmium Yellow Primrose. And whilst showing you these, I tried to really tidy up the palette a little bit since the paints moved around a little while transported. There's Nickel Azo Yellow, which is the PY 150 pigment. There's the Quinacridone Gold, which is the PO 48 and PY 150 pigments. Then we have the Diarylide Yellow. Sorry if I don't pronounce that correctly. PY 83 and HR 70. No idea what that means exactly. Maybe you guys know. The transparent Pyrrole Orange is PO 71. And then we have the Cadmium Red Medium, and that is made up of PR 108. Then there's the Permanent Scarlet, which is PR 168. The Permanent Alizarin Crimson, which is PR 177. The Quinacridone Magenta, PR 122. The Dioxazine Purple, which I love, PV 23. It's so intense, can't wait to swatch it. Ultramarine Blue, PB 29. And the last on the top row is the Cerulean Blue Chromium, PB 36:1. Then we have the Phthalo Blue Green shade, PB 15:3. The Cobalt Teal, PG 50. The Viridian Green, PG 18. And the Sap Green by QOR, and that is pigment PG36, PR101, and PY150. Then we have the green gold, the PY129, the raw sienna natural, PY43. The burnt sienna natural, which is the pigment PBR7, and the raw umber natural, also PBR7. Then the Van Dyke brown, which is PR101. The Payne's gray, PB15:3, PBK7, and PV19. The neutral tint, PY42, PR122, PB15:3, and last but not least, the titanium white, which is PW6. And now for some little minor touch-ups, so they are pristinely in the palette. Such satisfaction. I love looking at all those colors sorted out just next to each other. It can really make a day better. I can't wait to start swatching these paints on the next video with you guys and seeing how they perform. The palette's design is pretty nifty because you can actually use the top of the tin as a paint palette. So let's just put everything back together and remind you of the second part of this unboxing video. So we have the two palettes, the QOR watercolors, and the natural sponge that I ordered. Now, in the next video, I will be swatching the QOR watercolors, and just to get you excited, let's look at those pretty colors one more time. Now, for the palettes, I have not thought of any good thing to do with them. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked this video and would like to see more of this kind of video, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next one. Bye!